Fiend. And as always, if you're tapped in via Twitch, make sure you're smashing that like button and that follow button. You'll be entered in to win a 1990s Miami Dolphins Dan Marino card. Definitely a collector's item that you would want to put in the collection, or perhaps, give to your son, your grandkids, something cool like that. Anyways, smash that button. Join us in the chats. We're getting the chats pulled up as we speak right now. If you're tapped in on YouTube, smash that like button, smash that subscribe, post notifications on, all that good jib jab jargon. And we'll be doing a giveaway at 100 subscribers on YouTube as well. We're looking for some other people to join the streaming team if interested in, maybe seeing what we got in the works. Maybe you'd be interested. That being said, I need to get a link pop up extension on here. Yeah, I'm always making note of things that, like, I know I need to start doing on the stream to, like, get us fully there. But my funds are a little low. As you can see, I got this beautiful studio behind me. Over here. And we've just been working to build this out. So yeah, anyways. Smash those buttons. I was thinking about making some music, but I think I'm gonna game a little bit, actually, just because well, it's a Tuesday. DoorDash is never good on Tuesdays. Never. And when I say never, I mean never. Just like that. All right. Something's pissing me off about this mic. I don't know where I need to put it for it to be comfortable. There we go. Let's just fuck it. Let's just right there. Huh. There we go. Bring it around town, baby. All right. Let's go. Warzone? Is that how you all are feeling? Should we do Warzone? Or should we not do Warzone? I don't know. Interesting. All right. Communications not available. Okay. Give us just a moment here. Like I said, I'm trying to pull up the chats, but my ADHD is a little haywire the past few days. Kind of been cold, so I haven't been able to go outside and do much other than work the past 2 days. But before that, we had 3 days of straight 85, 90 degree weather. It was beautiful. Stayed outside all day long. Then my allergies kicked my ass. So when it was cold yesterday, I didn't really feel like doing jack shit yesterday either. And Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays, all 3 of those days are absolutely horrible via DoorDash. So if you were planning on driving for DoorDash, whatever you do, be careful for the weekdays. Oh man, why is my stuff's all miscombobulated over here? So just ask that you bear with me. All right, there's the chat. All right, so So I gotta pull my YouTube one up again for some reason. Yes, sir. What up, Danny? Sorry, I just now got the stream up here. Getting the chats pulled in. Hope your day's doing good. Your Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? I think it's Tuesday. I don't know. I think it's Tuesday. Hope all is well on your side of the world. I don't even know what to do. I guess I'm gonna game. Thinking about making some music, but I kind of did that all night. Oh, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. As long as, I woke up on this side of the ground, I have no complaints. No complaints at all. I mean, I probably could complain, but nobody wants to listen to it, so, What? Hold on one second. I don't know. You see me stream. Would you say that my streams are kid friendly? I don't think so. I'll cuss a lot. I don't want to do that. So no. I gotta change the title on YouTube here. Gaming. What game? I guess we'll play Warzone. Did you ever get your Warzone to work? Yeah, real talk, real talk. Warzone. No, the stream does not contain paid promotion. Oh, that'd be nice. We're trying to get there on YouTube. Alrighty, folks. We are all ready to roll. I think. Yeah, just about. Hold up. I should really be setting all this up before I start streaming. But once I get in here, like, there's been multiple instances that I've been playing games. And I thought I was streaming, and here I thought I was getting a whole bunch of content that I could break down for Instagram Reels and stuff. And I wasn't even recording like the best day I've ever had on Call of Duty. I missed the entire day and thought I was streaming for like 8 hours. And then my buddy Twisted joined the party. He's like, "Oh, you streaming?" Like, yeah. He's like, "It's not showing up." I'm like, "Ain't no way it's not showing up." Sure enough, got on Twitch. It didn't record. You know, the struggles of a one-man band show over here. All right, so now I really don't know. I guess I'm just gonna play Warzone. Yeah, Danny, you got your Warzone downloaded again? Season 3 is here, my man. We supposed to be playing it. All right. See if we can go viral here. I'm gonna actually check out some XRP news here in a little bit too, but just so I can get the stream rolling with some kind of content. Let's get to the game. So funny because like I could never talk to people like I do through the stream. I could never do that in person. Like, I mean, I could. I guess I'm pretty personable, but try and see if it works today. Right on, brother. Right on. Yeah, if it does, we can try to get some double-ronis. I'm so hungry, and I told myself I wasn't gonna stream until 8, and I just realized that I never ate. So. Looks like we'll be taking a halftime break at some point. Probably won't even stream for that long. I gotta run up the street to the post office and whatnot. So, but once I do that, I'm sure I'll be back on for a good majority of the day. I don't know what's going on with Call of Duty. Loading assets. Some XRP into my wallet, baby. Is it? I'm joking. I wish. I don't see how all these streamers, like, half of them don't even have that good of content. I mean, I know my content is definitely not the greatest, but that's because I do this completely unplanned. All this is improv, you know what I'm saying? But I just wonder, like, how do you find people that can just sit here and watch you play video games all day and literally send you anywhere from 100 or we'll say $1 to $1,000? Like, I've literally seen it on streams, and it's just wild to me. Like I want to say it's probably because they put the time in and effort, but I mean, did they? I don't know. I don't really know that many people that stream. All right, this is not enough space to capture. Well, good, because I didn't want to capture that. I really need to get a new hat, because this is the only hat that I have that probably fits my head with as much hair as I got. Thought about getting it cut. All right, once again, if you're tapped in via YouTube, smash that like button, subscribe button. It means a lot to the channel, and we cannot grow without you doing your part. Completely free. All you have to do is smash that like, subscribe, and hit that post notifications on so you know when we go live, so that way you don't miss out when we do our drawing at 100 subscribers. If you're tapped in via YouTube and you would like to follow us on Twitch, all you have to do is go to twitch.tv/OUTPOCKET. No, I'm lying. It's just Out of Pocket Mike after twitch.tv. It's too early. I say it's too early, but it's 1:20. It's just I didn't go to sleep until like 7:30 a.m., 8 a.m. Because, you know, the freaks come out at night. All right. Why is this game doing this? It might just be a no Call of Duty day. I might have to go play weak ass Madden. Nah, I don't even want to play Madden. Oh, there we go. So Danny, you say that you're on PC. Do you know how I can go from console Discord so I can hear the sound coming through my computer instead of through my Xbox? I'm not sure if you do or if it's even possible, but it'd be really cool. Get the full effect. What I'm go to website, sign up bonus. Add a new recruit. What is this for? Oh shit, ladies and gentlemen. What is this? I haven't seen this. Oh. Resurgence quads. Okay, we'll do quads. Alright, welcome back to the stream. The Supreme Team stream. Boom. Let's see if we can pull up the XRP parts over here. You haven't even been keeping up too much on the XRP news the past week, just because I've been really just trying to out of sight, out of mind. Hopefully just one day wake up and we'll be able to take some profits from it. But I'm interested to see. So I know Gary Gensler said some bullshit yesterday. Who's the head of the United States Securities and Exchange Commission? I cannot talk today. XRP Bulls faces uncertainty ahead of Gensler testimony on the Hill. Monday, XRP fell by 1.94%, reversing a 0.21% loss from Sunday. XRP ended the day at 51,107. Despite the bearish session, XRP avoided sub 50 cent for the fifth consecutive session. Bears throughout the morning, XRP slid from an opening price of 52,104 to a mid-afternoon low of 50,698 price. XRP fell through the first major support level, S1 at 5166, and the second major support level, S2 at 5121. Finding late support, XRP briefly broke back into the S2 before ending the day at S1. Investors back into wait and see mode leaves XRP under pressure. The day ahead, XRP price prediction. Price action. What is going on with this game, man? Why is it? This is wild. They just don't ever let me have a good stream. Anytime I try to stream playing Call of Duty, like it's like watching two virgins try to fuck. Fucking aggravating. It's like, why the fuck is this even happening? All right. Well, let's see what Gary Gensler had to say though. Because actually, let's just take this to Twitter, bro. Since my game's gonna be goofy, we're just gonna go to just gonna go over to Twitter and let's see what's going on in the XRP community as we wait for the game to reload. All right. Oh man, I just can't wait to wake up to some good news with XRP. However, I wish I could buy more, but I'm currently looking for another job as a DoorDash. This is not as feasible as it was 2-3 years ago. Traffic, you're lucky to get more than 2 orders in an hour. And yeah. So. All right, yeah, we said we were gonna take this to Twitter. Here we go. Go click on my crypto page here, baby. The crypto junkie. Yeah, my game's not launching either, man. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, no, it's funny because I don't know how it is where you are, but I mean, America's pretty wild, right? So like when I was like 5-6 years old, if I was cussing, saying shit, fuck, anything like that, like my parents would laugh. That's exactly why I haven't had kids, because I would be the parent that's laughing. Because if your kid says it in the right context, you can't even be mad. Like they stub their toe and yell, "Oh fuck!" I mean, they at least used it in the right context, you know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this game, man. I'm about to reboot because I was trying to game today, but that should be an extra weird. Let's try this again. All right. 3 hours ago. Oh yeah, I forgot. Gary Gensler meets with Congress today. On my way to testify before the Finance Committee in the Rayburn House Office building, I stopped by Sam Rayburn's statue. Mr. Sam worked with the FDR. That's Franklin Roosevelt, I believe, to establish our first federal securities law. Excited to testify on our important work to realize his vision. Let me tell you, I don't think you really are seeing his vision, Mr. Gary. You better fucking get out while you can, Gary. All right, here we are. What else do we got here? My man XRPJB, he's a guy that I followed him fairly recently when I had made my crypto Twitter, just so I could keep all my finance stuff in one portfolio. But he seems like a pretty cool guy, and I do hope to eventually meet a lot of these people that I've met in the XRP community. You know, it's just cool to network. That's what social media was made for, and I think younger generations especially, they just, well, I mean, even my generation, I mean, they use social media for all the wrong reasons. Like, I can't even get into it, but they share a lot of their relationship business on social media, and I'm sure I did that back, when social media was first hip. But it's funny to me. It's just funny to me. Let's try. We're gonna try to load in again before we switch over the screens. Oh, caption this. Looks like he's saying fuck. I am a firm believer in being yourself. So when it comes to the cussing thing, I do I do kind of just throw the cuss words around because at the end of the day, they're words. Words were made up by humans. They only have as much meaning as you allow them to have. In certain instances, of course. Now, can't say some out of line shit about say world leaders, but Gary Gensler is getting blasted and it barely started. I love it. Oh, hold on. All right, if you're smashed or if you're tapped in, I said if you're smashed in. If you're tapped in via the Supreme Team stream on YouTube, smash that like, subscribe button, post notifications on. I don't know what is going on with Call of Duty today. I tried loading into another game and it's got me on a black screen, frozen again. So I don't think I'm going to be gaming, unfortunately, at the time being. I'm going to keep on trying it throughout the next, 15, 20 minutes. But until we're going to go see live coverage, SEC Chair Gensler testifies before Congress. Let's tap into this. Hold on. Where's my? I need the road mic. All right, so that's not the right mic either.
But you kind of dropped the ball on us in the second day and said something, and then you didn't get an opportunity to talk about it. AI. You said, with all due, and I don't want to put words in your mouth because most people have done that today. You said something like AI is really was going to be much more transformative, with all due respect, to crypto or these other things. You said something like that, and then you stopped. Could you elaborate?
I truly believe it. I think it's as transformative as the internet itself. It's going to affect all parts of our economy, whether it's radiology, whether it's driverless cars. But in finance, it's already been adopted. It's been adopted for call centers, for compliance, robo-advising, brokerage apps, something called sentiment analysis, where even this hearing right now might be being fed right into a sentiment analysis to analyze and would the markets go up or down depending upon what the chair said. This is Chair McKenna, not this chair.
Yes. We'll have a picture of him.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It'll probably be lifestyles actually. So it's transformative, but it's also raises public policy issues, and one of them that we're looking at the SEC is using predictive data analytics and robo-advising and in brokerage apps. Are the applications just solely looking at the interest of the investor, or are they also looking at their own interest, and that might inherently have conflicts in the algorithms?
They don't.
As liberal as I am, I'm actually conservative in the way I look at the world. When there are changes, it makes me a little nervous. So for example, when we take a look at risk or insurance, and we take a look at zip codes, other things other than the person's driving experience, miles driven and all that, it makes me a little nervous. So when you get into AI, especially how it's going to affect poor communities, people of color, and that concerns me. Does that not concern you?
I think it's a big challenge because Look, I mean, right now you can sweep the data up from your automobile driving. It's called telematics. You can sweep up your social media usage and sort of based upon that,
That is
decide how to
horrible.
underwrite and make a loan.
If
There's
you've ever put the
research, actually, interesting research that shows that you can,
If you've ever put the chip in your car to see, to get better insurance rates, they literally can track if you're going over the speed limit in certain areas, and if you're driving late at night, if you're driving during rush hour, and your rates go up. That is horrible, and this is why our economy is so fucked up. Here in America, at least. One of the reasons. One of many.
capitalize your letters for pronouns in your emails, you're better credit than if you don't. I'm giving this away a little bit. If you charge your phone every night, you're better credit, believe it or not. So now, what if it happens to be that people that capitalize their letters are of a certain race or ethnicity or gender, and it has nothing to do with credit, but then we're embedding something into the systems which has inherent biases. So yes, I think you're right to have that consideration.
Okay, I know that we're pressed for time, so I'm going to go ahead and yield back and again thank the chair.
I like my colleague. Mrs. Kim is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you so much. I know we're rushed with time over here, but I have to say that in my ongoing conversations with those stakeholders in the financial industry, there are some things that they raise as concerning, and there is a theme here, and that is the frantic pace, limited comment periods, and complexity of the rules proposed by SEC under your leadership undermines the SEC's long-established three-part mission to protect investors, maintain fair, orderly, and efficient markets, and facilitate capital formation. Persistent inflation is eating away the hard-earned savings of retirees, and now some of the proposals by the SEC will make it harder to save for retirement, and this is unacceptable. And so I echo Representative Horsfield's comments about the hard close rule that would force investors to put in orders to purchase or redeem funds as early as 10 a.m. Eastern Time in order to get that day's price. As a member of Congress who represents California, this is concerning because my constituents may have to place orders way before they're getting out of bed. So I just wanted to echo that comments and share that. So do you believe that creating second-class citizen of investor is fair for my constituents or constituents, who are asking for a level playing field?
It's actually trying to help them out and level the playing field to protect them, because it's the biggest institutions that are sometimes anticipating that the Federal Reserve will come to their support. And in times of stress, open-end bond funds have made such calls to the U.S. Federal Reserve, and that's what we're trying to address. Those
Thank you.
implicit
I know you
backing.
addressed that issue in Representative Hosper's question, so thank you. I know you're repeating that too. But let me get to the next issue.
Chew 'em up then. Chew 'em up
SEC's
then.
Office of Advocate for Small Business Capital Formation. A woman founders' share of funding in the private markets, specifically venture capital, remains a fraction of the overall capital raised. One way to reduce this gap in funding is by incentivizing more women fund managers in the industry, something I heard in my conversation and roundtable discussions I had with them. The SEC's private funds proposal restricts site letters, and it would raise barriers to entry into
Chew 'em
private
up
markets
then.
and disadvantage new fund managers raising their first funds. So have you assessed how moving forward with this rulemaking will inhibit new and emerging, especially women, fund managers from raising funds?
I think this rule proposal, if adopted, would really help a diverse array of investors. Those are the investors behind the pension funds that are in here, and help a diverse array of small businesses. It would potentially, frankly, lower the profits of the middle. That's the efficiency. Competition would drive greater efficiency in the middle of the market, the asset managers, and I would imagine they would comment to you that they might have lower potential profits, but that's going to help investors on one side and small businesses on the other side, raising money from those private funds.
Thank you for your comments on that. I want to make mention of the Commission's ABS conflict of interest rule. As you know, there are many Americans who can save up to 20% down payment on a home. But private mortgage insurance allows them to get into a home in a fiscally responsible manner. And it's especially critical in Orange County, where I represent, which has some of the most expensive housing stock in the industry. Whopping 72% of first-time California homeowners use private mortgage insurance. So will you ensure that private mortgage insurance can continue to utilize the capital markets for transactions that are recognized by state regulators, FHFA, and the GSEs being important tools for prudent risk and capital management in today's housing market? Obviously, I'm talking about the working class and middle class Californians that I represent. They agree that PMI would be needed to give them the access to home ownership. I want to get your thoughts on that.
So as the discussion with Representative Fitzgerald earlier, I'll take this back and think about it, but we have to comply with the law passed by Congress that addresses these conflicts in the market.
If you'll please provide that in writing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Will you please provide that in writing?
Yes.
Thank you. We'll go to Mr. Green for 5 minutes, and we'll adjourn. We'll recess so members can finish questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I thank the ranking member as well, and Mr. Chairman Gensler. Given that we're into a countdown to default because of my Republican colleagues and their failure to permit a vote on legislation to lift or suspend the debt ceiling so that we might, the richest country in the world, pay our bills, the hearing should really be about, in my opinion, the adverse consequences of the richest and most powerful country in the world failing to pay its debts because of politics. And questions to be answered would include...
All right, that's first of all preposterous as fuck. Because our inflation rate would have went so much worse if we raised the debt ceiling. You can't just keep printing money. Eventually, it's gonna fucking catch up to us like it already has. That is why we are $31.4 trillion in debt as a nation. But yet we're the richest and most powerful country. You see the bullshit they feed to us here? Alright. Anyways.
What will the adverse consequences of default be on auto loans, things that impact a good many people, mortgages, the stock market? What will the adverse consequences be on our $100 trillion capital markets, the largest in the world, I might add? The adverse consequences on the dollar as a global reserve currency. And what are the likely adverse consequences on our need to attract investors to our treasuries in the event of a default? Of course, a question of paramount importance would be, what is the likelihood of a Republican recession? So, Mr. Gensler, let me ask you, please, as it relates to our global reserve currency, a default, what do you prognosticate the consequences to be on our status with our global reserve currency?
Representative, it's hard to predict because we'd be in uncharted waters, but it'd be quite disruptive. The base of our markets is U.S. Treasury, and you would envision that there'd be more risk in that market, less liquidity, and that it would cost more as taxpayers to raise money. In terms of the U.S. dollar, how it probably would be in more volatile times, but what would happen to its rates is hard to predict. But in terms of homeowners and the capital markets, we'd be in for a lot of volatility, and we would take a hit in terms of future investors thinking about our capital markets in the same way. They'd have to price in the risk of this instability potentially happening again.
This is a good segue into the question with reference to the adverse consequences on the need to attract investors to our treasuries. Our treasuries are considered the best in the world. People believe that their money is secure if it's in an American treasury. What would be the consequences?
Again, it's hard to predict, but it'd be quite disruptive, quite volatile, and uncertain.
I thank you for your commentary, and we'll close with this. It seems to me that we should understand the importance of suspending.
I'm gonna go watch this whole thing here in a little bit.
Don't get into these uncharted waters, because once we're in,
And I'll definitely come back and touch base on it.
we may extricate ourselves, but the impact, the adverse consequences can be something that can last for a moment. And I'm using a moment in a rather loose way, because it could be much longer, obviously, than a moment. And I would hope that as you make your commentary to persons in these meetings that you have with them, that you would let them understand to a greater extent than we might share in the public our position with the reserve currency and the impact. There is a war for currency supremacy, and currently we're winning, but we don't have to have this esteemed position forever. It can change. Your final comment.
I think you're correct, and it's what I was trying to say to, I think it was Representative Timmons earlier. Part of our agenda is trying to ensure that our capital markets stay the most efficient, most resilient, and fair, so that we become and we stay the destination of choice.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We will now reconvene immediately following votes. The committee stands in recess.
All right, so sounds like court is going in recess. Might be lunch break, or court, not court hearing, whatever. All right, well, I guess now would be a good time for me to go put these wings in the air fryer. The food, maybe make a salad. So while this hearing is in recess, I'm gonna take it upon myself to go make some food now, since I was supposed to do that before I even started streaming about an hour ago. Gotta eat. I look malnourished, even though I eat a shit ton. Just shit a lot. But if you've been tapped into the stream, make sure you smash that like button, that subscribe button if you're on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, that like button and that follow button, post notifications on. If you're on Twitch, you'll be entered in to win a 1990s Dan Marino Miami Dolphins card. Don't want to miss out on that, so hit that post notifications on so you know every time we go live, and tap in with me in the chat, and we might be able to up your chances on winning this card. If you're tapping via YouTube, hit that subscribe button. You'll be entered in to win something very cool at 100 subscribers. Here, we got plenty of Hall of Fame sports memorabilia and shit like that. Must be 18 or older to enter. There'll probably be some background noise right now. Oh wow, go make this food, so just a heads up. Appreciate you tapping in. Supreme Team Stream, Mikey OutOfPocket. Be back in a few.
Life is expensive. Tools don't have to be. That's why over 40 million customers have made Harbor Freight America.
I guess I fail to see how you can't see that scope 3 disclosures are required. But may don't come to order. Without objection, the chair is authorized to declare a recess of committee at any time. This hearing is entitled Oversight of the Securities and Exchange Commission. Without objection, all members will have 5 legislative days within which to submit extraneous materials to the chair for inclusion in record. I'll now recognize myself for 4 minutes for purposes of an opening statement. Chair Gensler, we welcome you before the committee. As you can see, we're under new management with the new Congress, so please get comfortable. We expect to get through a lot today. So let's get started with digital assets. Under your leadership, the Securities and Exchange Commission has brought nearly 50 separate enforcement actions against digital asset firms. And now your agency is requesting an additional $78 million to expand your enforcement agenda. At the same time, you've refused to provide clarity on whether digital assets offered as part of an investment contract are subject to securities laws. And, more importantly, how these firms should comply with those laws. You're punishing digital asset firms for allegedly not adhering to the law when they don't know it will apply to them. It's nonsensical. The administration said it, the Fed has said it, and I'll say it again. Congress must provide clear rules of the road for the digital asset ecosystem because the regulators cannot agree. Regulation by enforcement is not sufficient nor sustainable. Your approach is driving innovation overseas and endangering American competitiveness. The ranking member and I have worked for more than a year on this issue, and will continue to work this Congress. But let me be clear. Our goal is to make law. We expect you to play a constructive role in that process. Now, next up, we'll discuss your overly aggressive and very expensive rulemaking agenda. In the past 2 years, the Commission has proposed 53 new rules at a breakneck pace. That's twice as many rules as your predecessor, Mary Jo White and Jay Clayton, in the same amount of time. This raises serious concerns that the rulemaking process is being rushed, undermining the quality of our securities laws, and risking negative, unintended consequences. These concerns have been echoed by senior personnel at your own agency, and there are similar concerns raised while you were at the CFTC. Time and time again, you've cut the public out of the rulemaking process with unreasonably short comment periods, even for major rules like your disastrous climate disclosure proposal and equity market structure overhaul. You failed to justify these significant rules with thorough evidence, careful studies, and even cost-benefit analysis. I look forward to hearing why the Commission is rushing to make such dramatic changes in our public markets based on paltry economic analysis and limited public input. Finally, it appears you've been so busy weaponizing the Securities and Exchange Commission to push your agenda that you've forgotten a key pillar of the Commission's statutory mission, capital formation. Unlike you, this committee is working to strengthen public markets, help small businesses and entrepreneurs, and increase market access for all investors to ensure the long-term growth and prosperity of this country. I'll close with this. Chair Gensler, your responses to congressional inquiries have been unacceptable. You have a constitutional duty to conduct your business in your agency, but we too have a constitutional duty to conduct oversight of your agency. Under our jurisdiction, we intend to do that, and we will continue to do so aggressively. But it is your duty to respond and comply with congressional inquiries. If you continue to support this institution by ignoring our requests and providing incomplete responses, we will be left with no choice but to pursue all avenues to compel the information or documents we need, and the American people need and deserve to see themselves. With that, I yield back. The chair now recognizes the ranking member of the committee, the gentlewoman from California, for 4 minutes for the purposes of the meeting.
Good morning and welcome, Chair Gensler. Right now, our financial system is still recovering from the sudden collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. Our nation's affordable housing crisis is worsening, and we are on the brink of a Republican-imposed debt default that will create unprecedented and untold levels of harm to the United States and global economy. But, unfortunately, today's hearing is not focused on addressing any of those looming crises. Instead, we're here this morning because last Congress, Republicans threatened to do a big number on the SEC and Chair Gensler, and today is the start of them making good on that promise. This playbook isn't new. Committee Democrats and the American public have seen it all before. Under the first Consumer Financial Protection Bureau Director, Richard Cordray, Republicans worked around the clock to harass the agency with sham investigations, baseless subpoenas, and non-stop hearings, all in hopes of delaying or impeding the important work of the agency. This is the same exact strategy they plan to use on the SEC, and unfortunately, everyday people will pay the price. The SEC has on average provided over twice the legally required time for comment on its proposals to strengthen Wall Street's rules, and yet Republicans still claim that things are still moving too fast and are joining industry's efforts to attempt to delay these long overdue reforms. For example, Republicans are desperately trying to hamper the finalization of the SEC's rule on climate-based disclosures, which will finally provide the material information that investors have been asking for to evaluate how their investments will fare as climate change worsens. The SEC is also working to finalize rules to implement major market structure reforms that would increase transparency, promote competition, and address issues that arose during the GameStop events and identified by investigations this committee led. Additionally, the SEC has proposed rules to require greater transparency of private equity and hedge funds, which are opaque even though they have significant impacts on our economy and society. These reforms are not being rushed, they are long overdue, and this committee held several hearings and considered legislation addressing all of these issues. Meanwhile, Republicans are eager to rush forward with measures that would deregulate our capital markets. We just witnessed that Trump's deregulation means in the banking sector and financial stability as the collapse of SVB and Signature Bank threatened confidence across the banking system. I can't believe that this committee is rushing to take off more guardrails when we should be adding them. I would also like to applaud Chair Gensler and his staff for the forceful actions the SEC has taken and dedicated more resources to go after crypto criminals. This is a stark difference from the hands-off approach that the Republicans' SEC chair took to mass non-compliance in crypto. In fact, under Chair Gensler, the SEC has nearly doubled the size of the unit responsible for protecting investors in crypto markets and from cyber-related threats. Since the recent bank failures and the fall of XTX in various crypto platforms. Well, with that, I'm going to yield back the balance of my time, and because the chair did not go over his time, and I'll honor his notion here for me too.
The chair recognizes Mrs. Wagner, chairwoman of the subcommittee on capital markets, for 1 minute.
I thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chair Gensler, it's been 18 months since you've appeared before this committee. My colleagues and I look forward to discussing your agency's overly aggressive agenda that is in fact rushing through rulemakings at a frenzied pace, the likes of which we haven't seen since the response to the '08 financial crisis. However, your agenda is neither driven by congressional mandate, and let me underscore congressional mandate, nor a widespread market failure like we saw in '08. In fact, it remains to be seen what actual deficiencies the Commission seeks to address with its 53 new regulations. Even when a very brief, half-baked cost-benefit analysis is provided, it fails to consider the aggregate regulatory burden on retail investors, small business, and capital markets, the bread and butter of the United States of America. Those dramatic changes you are proposing will cause death by 1,000 cuts to U.S. capital formation. And I yield back.
Chair now recognizes the ranking member of the subcommittee on capital markets, Mr. Sherman, for 1 minute.
Chairman Gensler, thank you for working hard and getting things done and fulfilling the mandate given to you by the 33 and 34 Securities Acts and bringing them up to date for the 21st century. Thank you for getting information that investors who care about the environment will want. Thank you for standing up to the crypto bro billionaires where an area where the multi-billion-dollar frauds are just the beginning of the societal harm. Investor protection is not the antithesis to capital formation, it is the necessary antecedent. If we don't protect investors, capital will go to other markets. The private placements cannot swallow the whole idea of companies being public. And the idea that 2,000 shareholders should become 2,000 shareholders of record through a phony math that allows companies to have perhaps 10,000 beneficial shareholders and not consider themselves public is something that needs to change. I yield back.
Today we welcome the testimony of Gary Gensler, Chair of the Securities Exchange Commission. Chair Gensler, we thank you for taking the time to be here. You'll be recognized for 5 minutes to give an oral presentation of testimony. Without objection, your written testimony will be made part of the record. Chair Gensler, you're now recognized for 5 minutes.
Good morning. Thank you, Chair McHenry, Ranking Member Waters, members of the committee. Thank you for inviting me to testify. As noted in my written testimony, my views are my own. Walking into the Rayburn building, I couldn't help but stop by the statue of Sam Rayburn, longest-serving Speaker of this great House. His colleagues used to call him Mr. Sam. You see, as chair of the House Committee on Interstate and Foreign Commerce, he worked closely with President Roosevelt to establish the nation's first federal securities laws in 1934. In fact, that 34 Act was called the Fletcher-Rayburn. Rayburn and Roosevelt were motivated by the lack of market integrity and disclosure. The markets were ripe with fraud and manipulation, and they knew that market integrity and disclosure helped protect them. lowers cost of capital for issuers. This foundational work has been part of our nation's economic success and global standing ever since, but we can't take it for granted. However, it's built on Rayburn's work in the 70s. Again in the 90s, the mandate at our agency also consider efficiency and competition as well as capital formation in formulating our rules. As amended, this led to our often cited three-part mission around protecting investors, promoting fair, orderly, and efficient markets, and facilitating capital formation. In essence, it's about ensuring that our markets serve investors and issuers alike, but not the other way around. Investors and issuers don't serve the markets, it's about the issuers and investors. And much of our work is basically focused on the middle, the markets, driving efficiency, integrity, and resiliency of the market. And with regard to efficiency and competition, we have multiple projects, including, as further detailed in my written testimony, around equity markets and private funds. As relates to integrity and disclosure, we also have multiple initiatives. The technology that I think is most transformative in our time is artificial intelligence. It's not crypto, as much as we're going to discuss crypto here today, and that's why I think that we've got to have some projects in that area around robo-advising and brokerage apps and the conflicts that may be in predictive data analytics. But as to crypto, which I know will come up, simply put, investors in the crypto market should benefit from the compliance with the same laws that Rayburn and Roosevelt laid out. It's the law, it's really not a choice. As to disclosure, the SEC is designed by Rayburn and Roosevelt is merit neutral. But we do have an important role with regard to ensuring for full, fair, and truthful disclosure about material risk, and thus we have disclosure projects including regarding climate risk, cyber risk, stock buybacks. And lastly, as to financial resiliency, lest we forget, risk in one corner of the market can spill out and hurt regular folks. 8 million Americans lost their jobs, millions of families lost their homes, and yes, small businesses shuttered after the 2008 crisis. Recent market events are just the most recent reminder of this. That's why we have a number of projects around our U.S. Treasury markets, around investment funds, and private funds. In summary, much of our work is about making the markets more efficient, more fair, more resilient for the benefit of investors and issuers. We greatly benefit from public input and use it to make adjustments that staff and ultimately the commission think appropriate. Coincidentally, my dad was also sometimes called Mr. Sam, first of his family born in this country. And he ran a small business, never went to college, small business, a vending machine business, and the bar owners would call him Mr. Sam. I think my dad, he was never a public figure. I can't believe I'm saying the same words, Sam Rayburn and Sam Gensler. But he was a big believer in this system, the system of democracy that we have, even things that we're going to go through today in this hearing. But he was a believer that the American system could help him as a small business owner and as an investor, the little bits of money he put to the side. So I hope that both Mr. Sams would think about the SEC's work to ensure that the markets serve investors and issuers alike, but not the other way around. It's not that the investors and issuers serve the markets or the market intermediaries. I thank you and yield back my time.
Thank you, Chair Gensler. I'll now recognize myself for 5 minutes. Ether is one of the most popular digital assets and powers the Ethereum blockchain. Back in 2018, then SEC Corporation Finance Director Bill Hinman stated that he believed Ether was not a security. Last month, CFTC Chair Benham expressed his view that Ether is a commodity. The State Attorney General of New York asserted in a court filing last month that Ether is a security. Clearly, an asset cannot be both a commodity and a security. Do you agree?
Actually, all securities are commodity under the Commodity Exchange Act. It's that we are excluded commodities. But I would agree that a security cannot be also an excluded commodity and an included commodity. I'm sorry, Chair, just to talk about the Commodity Exchange Act more precisely.
Okay, so do you recognize, how would you categorize Ether then?
I think that the general sweep of what Congress did, not just in the 30s, but as amended.
I'm asking you to sit in your chair now to make an assessment under the laws as exist. Is ether a commodity or a security?
Without speaking to anyone.
I know you've
Okay.
repeatedly said
It's a
you're not
matter
going to
of
speak to
fact.
one, except you've spoken to one, Bitcoin. So I'm asking you to speak to a second one, the second largest market cap here.
In speaking to the tokens, there's 10 to 12,000. If there's a group of entrepreneurs in
I'm
the
asking
general
about one.
public is anticipating a profit based on the.
I'm asking you a specific question, Chair Gensler. I said this in private. This should be no shock to you. I'm asking this question. Is ether a commodity or a security?
And again, it depends on the facts and the law, and if there's a group of
I'm
individuals.
asking you about the facts and the law sitting in your seats and the judgment you are making.
And so, Mr. Chair, I think you would not want me to prejudge because I'm also.
But you have
very-
prejudged on this. You've taken 50 enforcement actions. We're finding out as we go, as you file suit, as people get Wells notices on what is a security in your view, in your agency's view. I'm asking you a very simple question about the second largest digital asset. What is your view?
And my view is if there's a group of individuals in the middle, the public is
All right, so let me just ask you a second question then. Do you think it serves the market for an object to be viewed by the commodities regulator as a commodity and the securities regulator to be viewed as a security? Do you think that provides safety and soundness for the product? Do you think it provides consumer protection? Do you think it serves the value of innovation? I think no should be a very simple answer for you here.
I think.
That uncertainty is bad, is it not?
And I think that Congress has said that there's one agency, the Securities and Exchange Commission, under this
And
committee.
you won't answer my question, and you're the head of that agency. So give me a break. Come on.
I'm answering it in the generic because you would not want me to speak about any one set of facts and circumstance.
Okay, so, but you've already spoken. Have you said anything about Bitcoin?
My predecessors and the agency itself has spoken to.
Okay, but you're not willing to do the same about either.
I-
Okay, so let me just step back. There's a lack of clarity here in the marketplace. Can you at least agree to that?
I think that the clarity is there, the law is clear.
All
that
right.
There's a
So
group
let
of
me
individuals
be
relying-
explicit about this. The market doesn't see it. Your regulatory actions and the CFTC's regulatory actions say that there's a great deal of uncertainty here. It is the intention of this committee to fix that uncertainty and actually provide sound legal basis for this. So let me get into your rulemaking process. So you proposed 53 rules in 2 years. Mary Jo White proposed 23. Jay Clayton proposed 26. At the same time, your agency has consistently provided less comment period than either of your predecessors. Just as one example, when the SEC made significant changes to U.S. equity markets in 2005 for regulation NMS, the Commission broadly solicited public feedback, held numerous roundtables, issued white papers and concept releases. Fast forward to today, you propose 4 equity market structure proposals that would impact millions of retail investors, and you provided a mere 60 days of comments on 1,600 pages of regulations. So let me ask you this: do shorter comment periods and less public interaction improve rulemaking?
We actually put out the equity market structure rules, had 105 days of comment from the time we voted it out through March 31st. And I think robust public input helps us greatly. When we take comments on our rules, our average has been about 70 plus days overall. But we also get comments.
And I want to get into the
after
cost-benefit
comment.
analysis, but my time has expired. With that, I'll recognize the ranking member.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gensler. I'd like to give you time to give your answer to Mr. McHenry and explain to him exactly how you define securities and commodities. Please go right ahead.
So a security by Congress's will has about 30 plus terms, and one of those terms is an investment contract. And the Supreme Court has addressed this multiple times over the years, and we as a commission have addressed this in these 100 plus actions that the chair mentioned. I think there's 130 or so actions we've taken. It's basically the public is putting their hard-earned funds with some entrepreneurs, promoters, and anticipating a profit. four-part test. And it's really, it's a broad sweep. Thurgood Marshall said that Congress painted with a broad brush to protect the public. And the SEC is an agency you all set up years ago, is a disclosure-based agency. We're merit neutral, but we're not neutral to full, fair, and truthful disclosure in crypto or elsewhere. And that's really the core. So is there a group of entrepreneurs in the middle that are working on that project, promoting that project, a website that the public looks to? Do they have Twitter accounts and handles? Do they upgrade the software, and is the public sort of reading about them, anticipating a profit base? And in fact, is there somebody that's even visiting you and they're hiring lawyers and sending them in to, to talk to us and so forth? Is there something there that the public is anticipating a profit based upon those efforts?
Thank you very much. Chair Gensler, I'd like to ask a few questions about crypto. You often suggested that we're witnessing mass non-compliance with our securities laws by crypto firms. However, crypto firms often suggest that their coins and activities are different and need a new statutory framework. Do you agree? And does the SEC have the authorities it needs to bring crypto issuers and intermediaries into compliance with the investor protection and market integrity framework built over the past 90 years?
Yes, I do believe that we have the authorities we need in the laws to protect the investors.
Would you say that one more time?
Yes, I do believe that we have the laws and we have the authorities to oversee the crypto intermediaries, the crypto exchange.
Are you exercising that authority now?
Yes, we are.
Would you describe for this committee how you're doing that? I understand that you have engaged with a number of crypto firms. Is that correct?
We have. We talked to the crypto firms some tokens to how they can register, but also these platforms. I've been around finance for over 40 years in one way or the other. I've never seen a field that's so non-compliant with laws written by Congress and affirmed over and over by the courts. But this is a largely unfortunate for the investing public, non-compliant.
Thank you very much. I'm going to move on to a question about deregulating capital markets. As you know, this committee cares about increasing access to capital, particularly for small businesses. I, for example, have worked with Chair McHenry to pass legislation on crowdfunding and other innovative ways for startups and small businesses to raise capital. These are targeted approaches to supporting business growth and creating jobs. Some on the committee suggest, however,
I'm getting high
that
right now.
deregulation is needed, but I don't see how deregulating capital markets is good for small business, job creation, innovation, or economic growth. Would you please explain whether or not you believe deregulation is needed?
I think that we've benefited in this country by the markets, and that small businesses can raise capital in a well-regulated market that protects against fraud and manipulation. And the reason small business benefits is because it lowers the risk in the markets, and you lower the amount of fraud and manipulation, and you promote good transparency.
Thank you very much. My time is almost up, but I just want you to reiterate whether or not you really have the authority to do what is necessary in dealing with the crypto markets. You said it twice, say it a third time, please.
Well, I think we do. We could use more resources, but I do think we have the authorities.
Have you indicated what resources you need?
We have in congressional testimony to the House Appropriations Committee, and it's included in this testimony as well.
Thank you very much. I yield back the balance of my time.
We'll now recognize the gentleman from Arkansas, Mr. Hill, for 5 minutes. Vice Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Mr. Gensler, thank you for coming to be with us today. I want to continue to follow up on Chair McHenry's questioning. I'll attempt to be more successful. In November 2021, the President's Working Group on Financial Markets released its report on stable coins, which recommended that Congress enact legislation to establish a federal prudential framework for stable coins. You remember that report?
I do, sir.
Is the SEC a member of the President's Working Group?
We are, sir.
And do you believe that, did you support that recommendation of the President's Working Group?
I did.
And do you think that Congress has been inactive on this topic?
As best I know, Congress is engaged with the administration throughout the 2 years, so.
You would call that active? Yeah. We're looking for that framework, and you support us drafting a regulatory framework for stablecoin, payment stablecoin.
If I could say, when stable coins, I think that it's important to ensure that there's safety and soundness there, and that if this committee and Congress were to address this through legislation to ensure that we don't undermine our $100 trillion capital markets, so we don't inadvertently somehow undermine what money market funds operate in this country, or how other parts of the financial markets. Lastly, that we don't undermine both the CFTC's and SEC's authorities to go after fraud and manipulation, because right now these stable coins are being used in the crypto ecosystem, and I think you really do want that cop on the beat, the SEC on the beat in the crypto ecosystem.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that you support the regulatory framework, and I think those issues you raise have to be taken into account by the President's Working Group, and I think they have. I mean, I think those are addressed in their reports, and I think that's certainly the focus of hearings, and so I'm glad to hear, and I don't think I'm putting words in your mouth, that you do support Congress attempting to create a regulatory framework for payment stable. Is that fair?
I think with the guardrails of not undermining the $100 trillion capital markets, and remembering.
I got your checklist. We've got that.
I was just gonna, also in the recent events in the markets, one of those stable coins
committee will come to
actually
order.
had over $3 billion. It's,
Well, thank,
Understand.
Chair Gensler, thank you for waiting for
Terrible decision by
us to come back from votes
We've already
and
had a
thank you
hearing on that
for making
subject.
yourself
We'll have
available.
follow-up.
We'll now recognize the gentleman
Let
from
me
New
ask
York,
you
Mr.
about the
Garbarino, for
consolidated
5
audit
minutes.
trail, something that's
Thank you, Mr.
plagued my
Chairman.
existence for the 8 years I've
So
served
thank you so
in
much
Congress.
for being here.
I've already on record not.
In addition to
supported
serving on this committee, I also chair the
Has the SEC
Cybersecurity
issued
Infrastructure
the final rule on
Protection Subcommittee,
consolidated
the Homeland
audit trail?
Committee.
That's your